Are you seeking a better way to accelerate your sales, to scale your business, to live a life with no limits? Accelerate Sales Podcast features global experts who have cracked the code to recurring revenues with proven sales systems and get you on the fast track to scaling. Now let's accelerate your sales with today's episode.
Hi, I'm Paul Higgins and welcome to the Accelerate Sales Podcast, episode number 431. You'll learn some great information in a shorter episode today, so it'll be nice and punchy. The first is how to build thought leadership, which Nick describes in a great way because he's got more demand than supply. How to remove yourself from the client work, which you no doubt struggle with. I know I certainly did when I ran my cloud consulting business. And the last one is how to get more leads from partner, or in Nick's case, partners. If you're a first-time listener and you love what you hear, please subscribe. If you're a regular, always love those reviews. You can get some details in the app that you're listening to here. Obviously, you can always take notes as well, but you can get the full transcript at paulhigginsmentoring.com/podcast. And before we go into the interview with Nick, I'd like to thank our sponsors. The first is the Cloud Consultants Collective, where peers help each other to build their businesses. It's free on Slack, and you can go to cloudconsultantscollective.com to come on in. And the other is SendSpark, which is a fantastic video platform, which really puts you are the most important part of your business, right in front of your prospects or your clients. And you can get 6 months free by going to paulhigginsmentoring.com/SendSpark. So our guest today is Nick Sonnenberg. He's the founder and CEO of Leverage, a business efficiency consultant. He's an Inc. columnist. Yep, I'll get that right, columnist. And he's also the author of a book called Idea to Execution, but there is another one coming, which we'll talk about, and Nick does in the interview. As a serial entrepreneur with a passion for productivity and a background in data science, Nick's mission is to create companies that disrupt the way people work by leveraging the power of remote teams, digital tools, and powerful automations. His primary focus is help teams operate more efficiently through his CPR business efficiency framework. This framework consistently gets results for greater output, less stress, happier employees, and potential to gain an extra full day in your life or your working life. Wouldn't that be great? Nick has worked for individuals and companies, including Tony Robbins, Jay Abraham, Facebook, and many more. And be sure to keep an eye out for his upcoming book, which we do mention. And it's up and on Amazon at the moment. Come Up for Air is the key title, How Teams Can Leverage Systems and Tools to Stop Drowning in Work. What I'll do now is hand you over to Nick Sonnenberg from Leverage. Great to have you here, Nick.
Thanks for having me.
I really appreciate it because I know you're under tight time because you've got an exciting new book that's coming out. So we'll talk briefly about that and we'll have you back on the podcast to cover that. But why don't we start with who your ideal client is and what problems you love to solve for them?
Well, our ideal client ranges quite a bit. We're working with a lot of 7-8-figure entrepreneurs. We do have some enterprise clients in the multi-billions, but I would say 8 figures is usually our sweet spot. But the type of work that we're helping businesses with is making sure that they have the right systems, tools, processes, and maximizing not just individual productivity, but the productivity of the whole organization. So that type of stuff is needed regardless if you're a 2-person gas and water leak detection company or your Facebook. You need to be thinking about using email properly, using a CRM, using tools like Slack or Teams or Asana. It doesn't really matter size or industry. You need to be thinking about those things. And so the work that we do kind of helps train teams on best practices of using all those collaboration tools.
Yeah, brilliant. And we're going to talk about all this brilliant marketing that you do. But outside of that, what's the best way that you generate leads into your business to get these clients?
Right now, so there's two, just to be clear, there's kind of 2 businesses that I have. I have one, which is the consulting side.
Yeah.
A lot of the business that's driven into the consulting side is driven by partnership. So we're partners with all the different tools that we support, like Asana, HubSpot, so on and so forth. We're partners with them. So we get a lot of kind of business through referrals of the partners. A lot of it also is word of mouth. I'd like to think that we do an amazing job when people hire us. And so we're not really doing any marketing in the sense of we're not running ads. We're not really even doing a whole bunch of email newsletters, which maybe we should be. Typically, the marketing on the consulting side of things is really referral and partnership and word of mouth. The other side of the other business that I have, and they're all kind of complementary, but I have my thought leadership side of things, which is I have a mastermind group. We're rolling out a membership. We do some events. I have my book, speaking, and all that sort of stuff. So it's a lot of overlap in terms of content, but one is a consulting business and the other has other services more for 7-figure, 8-figure entrepreneurs and more of a mastermind and group setting. And so on that side of things, again, it's a lot of word of mouth. I have a column in Inc. That we've been picking up on, and I think we were in the top 10 biggest Inc. Columns last month. So, I do speaking, I do podcasts, I have my book coming out. That's going to be a big push for marketing, my writing for Inc. And so between kind of those different activities, that's how we generate new business. But it's not, like I said, a bunch of paid ads, but maybe at some point we will, but we have more demand than we can handle at this point. So not needing to really try to engage cold traffic at the moment.
Yeah. And then which came first? Did the consulting business come first or the thought leadership?
The consulting came first. The thought leadership was, some of it was, in parallel. Well, Leverage started 7 years ago, but it was a different business. It was a freelancer marketplace. Yes. And so in that journey, I spun up an LLC where I was doing a lot of this thought leadership. So you could make an argument one came before the other. They kind of been in parallel. But now with this book coming out and some other business lines like the mastermind group evolving, we kind of have more formally separated out the two businesses just to be clean.
Yeah, okay. And what percentage of the thought leadership business would become clients of the consulting business?
I don't know, anywhere from 25, 50%. There's a lot of intersection between these things. So someone signs up, they want to come to one of our events, so they want to join the mastermind and have a little bit of time with me and connect with people, which is kind of the core of what we're doing in that group. A lot of those people are going to need hands-on implementation and training of their teams. So there's a lot of overlap. People on that side of the business become leverage clients. Leverage clients get they have a great experience at Leverage and they want to, get involved on some of these alternative things. So, they both feed each other.
Yeah, look, and I think it's brilliant because, and you might be out there thinking that, I need to develop myself. So I just spoke to a really good Salesforce partner recently, and he was like, I need to develop my personal brand. I need to develop my audience, not just rely on my partner to send leads and word of mouth. And, I think you're a brilliant example of doing that. I know you say they're separate businesses, but if I look at you, I'm thinking, there's a great synergy there, right? You're building the audience, and then, some of their needs are met by your thought leadership, some are met by the consulting business. So I think it's a great model and a great example, and that's why I was so keen to have you on.
Well, look, I think that one thing you want to be careful of is risk in a business, and there's a whole bunch of different risks that businesses could have. Like one is what channel you're getting your leads from. If all of my leads are coming from the Asana partnership and I'm fully reliant on that, well, if something happens with Asana, I don't want my business to be on the chopping block. Same with Facebook ads. I know a lot of people that solely rely on Facebook ads. Well, if Facebook tomorrow changes their algorithm, how does that impact your business? So you don't want to have all your eggs in one basket. I learned that the hard way with these things. So it's good to diversify and have multiple channel partners or multiple ways that you're getting business. And then also, I want leverage to be able to stand on its own 2 feet without me. So even though
Yes.
I'm the founder and CEO, um, for the most part, I've removed myself from the consulting and I've trained a team who are the consultants now. And so I think that the more that leverage isn't a business wrapped around, one kind of thought leader, let's say, and it's an actual business that is using the thought leadership, but it's not reliant on me. I think it makes leverage, be more successful and be a bigger company.
Yeah, perfect. And if I can just dive back to some of your partnerships, right? So Asana is one. I know HubSpot. There's two that I
Yeah.
see you mentioning on your website, etc. What have you done uniquely to generate those leads? Like, is there something that you can give us that we can replicate to get more leads from our partners?
I think, well, is the question, how do you initially get the partnership, or is it how once you have a partnership to get the most value out of the partnership?
The latter.
So I think just be strategic, don't just sign up with a partnership and then sit back and wait, try to engage. And we could all do better at this, but engage in most of these have communities, try to get involved with the salespeople. Um, a lot of the cases too, the people that you interact with, try to understand how their performance is measured. So, from what lens they're asking you question. Whenever they're engaging with you on a call or asking you a question, they have something in the back of their mind that they're trying to optimize for. Right. And so if you out of the gate with a lot of these conversations, I'll just straight up ask, how's your performance measured in your role? And that unlocks a lot of insight in terms of what they care about. And then you could start tailoring the conversation, but also your activities in between conversations, knowing what they care about and being able to deliver more value to them, the individuals on the other side of the partnership. And in return, that's going to just naturally and organically lead to a better partnership, in my experience.
Yeah, I think that's spot on. And we use a format. It's originally from Miller Hyman's strategic selling, but find out what their personal wins are and their business wins. And I think if you can get both of those,
Yep.
That will definitely bear fruit. And you are, let's say, a Asana partner model and HubSpot partner model. What are some of the biggest differences or pros and cons of each of those models?
Well, I'll just speak more to the Asana one. The HubSpot partnership is led by someone. I'm less involved on that, and others on the team are. But at least on the Asana side, I've been impressed with kind of getting added into their Slack account and their Asana account, and just making it easy to collaborate and have transparency and communication with them. I think that they've done a fantastic job with that, and that's led to a lot of good brainstorming and a lot of ways that we could kind of mutually add value. And there's other partners that do kind of add you to their systems to make it easier to interact with them. So, any partner that does that, I think, is a step ahead.
Yeah, brilliant. And you're listening to Nick and you're thinking, he's done a brilliant job in this thought leadership, etc. But he just mentioned that he'd, removed himself from the day-to-day of the consulting business, and I'm sure you're sort of thinking, God, I'm stuck at the moment. I'd love some tips from Nick on how best to do that, or some insights from you. So yeah, tell us, how did you go about it?
Just to be clear,
most people struggle, right?
Oh, look, just to be clear, I'm very involved still in the day-to-day. I'm just removing myself from the client-facing aspect, but I'm still, CEO and involved in every aspect from marketing to HR to finance to deliver the process of how we deliver things. I still get involved with closing like SOWs and closing big deals. So I'm still very, very involved.
Yeah. Okay.
It's just I've spent a lot of time to get out of the consulting side of things.
Yeah.
Right. It's hard to scale a company if you're kind of doing every single aspect. So at the very least, I invested a lot of time building out process and frameworks and training materials so that I can kind of get other people ramped up for delivering the core service, which I think should be a priority of anyone running a consulting company. Is you want to work your way out of many jobs, but that if you're still doing the actual consulting, that it's tough if depending on your profitability, how much you can get your way out of that, because you definitely have to sacrifice short-term profitability to invest the time in building the training materials and training up other people. So you have to give up short-term some profit. There's no getting around that. But I think it's the only path to really working being able to work on your business versus in your business. I think the only path to getting to that and kind of getting out of the quicksand is allocating some time to removing yourself from the delivery.
Yeah, and I totally agree. And it's because I often have this discussion: when's the best time? Do you do it pre-revenue, etc., and bring someone on? And I just think it's like taking a mortgage that your house price is going to be worth more in the long term, right? It's a similar thing, right? You've got to sacrifice some of those profits in the short term, backing yourself that it's going to be the right decision in the long term. So, brilliant. And now I know you've got a new book coming out. So just give us a little glimpse into what can we expect, and then we'll have you back on to talk about it.
Yeah, would love to later. Would love to come out. It's coming out in February 7th. My publisher is HarperCollins, and the title is called Come Up for Air: How Your Team Can Leverage Systems and Tools to Stop Drowning in Work. It's up on Amazon now, so even if you're listening, you could buy the pre-sale of the book. We have a website, comeupforair.com, we're constantly adding already some of the kind of bonus content. So right now, in the process of finishing the book, there's tons of bonus content that we just couldn't add to the book because it's already a 300-page book. So regardless if you buy the book or not, you can go to comeupforair.com and just keep kind of checking in, and there'll be bonus content that we continue to add. But it's basically all about my operational efficiency framework that we roll out to our clients on the consulting side. So it's talking about that framework, and it's really meant to be the employee manual that you never got. So we're hoping that companies will buy this for all their employees so that everyone can kind of be on the same page with when and how to use different tools, how to think about different tools, because that's the biggest issue that we see in companies, and that's the gap that we're filling. Is no one's ever been taught how to think about all these different collaboration tools, and when you get hired, you kind of just get thrown in the deep end with Slack and Gmail and Asana and so on and so forth, and there's never kind of been a playbook to say, hey, Paul, for this purpose we use this, for this purpose we use that. So I hope that this book can serve as a form of a productivity employee manual that companies will want all employees to read kind of either prior to or during onboarding so that everyone's on the same page.
Brilliant. Well, I know we've got to let you go and finish that because you've got a hard deadline to get the book done. So we'll do that. But you can find out more about Nick and the business at getleverage.com. And also we'll have the link to that and also the comeupforair.com as well. And go to that Amazon and get the pre-sale. I know I'll do that straight after this podcast. So I recommend you do it as well. But Nick, fantastic having you on, and can't wait to have you back.
Thanks for having me. Looking forward to being back.
That was a great interview with Nick. He actually had the deadline today of getting his book done. So that's why it's short and sweet. But, he delivered a lot of power in there. You can go and get his book, the pre-sale, on Amazon now. So go and do that. And also, build your thought leadership. I think that's such an important point where, he said that he's got more demand than supply, which, to me, build your audience and then, everything will come from there. Share on LinkedIn what you've learned from Nick and mention him. And all the, summary of the links are in the app. You can get the full transcript at paulhigginsmentoring.com/podcast. And, why not share it with, a couple of your friends? They'll think you're a rock star and it's no use keeping it to yourself. And check out our solo shows. Don't forget that free Slack community at thecloudconsultantscollective.com. And as always, please take action to accelerate your sales.
I'm fired up after today's episode. What about you? But hey, before you go, learning is just one piece of the puzzle. Now it's time to put today's strategy into action. Head over now to today's show page at paulhigginsmentoring.com/podcast. and share how you'll put it into action. Be sure to head over to your favorite podcast platform and subscribe, rate, and review the show. Tell me what your favorite episode is. And don't wait 1 minute more to gain access to your pulse check at paulhigginsmentoring.com. This could be the difference between struggling to get more leads and making this next quarter your best one yet.